The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost. It's $50 per month in sports gambling transactions. Get Edge Boost with promo code SGPN. We're also brought by Rhythm, the leading guide different picks and props. Reminder, they're giving away a $250 future and they're throwing March Madness party. The sportsgambling.com/party for details. And welcome, everybody, to the NBA Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Friday morning, roughly 11 a.m. Eastern Time on March 7th. I'm your host for this episode, Reichel, joined by Lonte Smith, and together we're going to break down the Friday card. Spoiler, we talked about it before the show actually went live. Not the most attractive card, but we're still going to talk about it, try to find some bets that can make us some money. But damn, these games don't look very good. Lonte, how's it going with you?
Pretty good, yeah, man. You hit on it. It's a horrible slate. Thank God we got college basketball conference tournament season and the end of the regular season for some of these games. But yeah, not a ton of marquee matchups in the association. A few storylines, but nothing too keen on the games.
Yeah, I do want to ask you that since you brought up college basketball. When it comes to your attention at this point in the year, what would you say the percentage of basketball is NBA and what percentage is college?
99 to 1%. College to NBA.
Oh, really? You're that far to the side? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because we do NBA throughout the year, and we got that. We pretty much know what teams are going to be in the playoffs. Now, position is another thing. I think outside of the Western Conference, where Phoenix and Portland are probably going to try to fight for that last play-in spot, but we pretty much know these teams, and now it's just about picking your spots. And I mean, you got teams like the Jazz who are just actively tanking. Brooklyn's playing hard but still losing, so maybe some value there. But I think you can pick spots more so in NBA. I don't think it's much value. I think more of the value is on the college basketball side.
Yeah, I feel like the main issue that people have, you could argue, with the college, I'd say, portion of the season is the fact that we haven't exactly gone to the big conference tournaments yet. It's a lot of smaller conferences, so
it's the most value.
I was going to say, if you want to watch Lipscomb in an overtime battle against Queens, then you have a pretty good game on your hands yesterday. But I feel like a lot of college fans, or it should say casual college fans, are waiting for the Big East, the SEC, the ACC, stuff like that, which is still about a week away, a couple of days away. So we'll see what happens there. Either way, though, I might actually go to maybe a game or two in the Big East tournament, depending on how well St. John's plays in the Garden. But either way, I do want to ask you about the games yesterday for starters. Any takeaways? I know, of course, the Knicks did end up losing not just to the Lakers in overtime, but they also lost Brunson, who got injured and he rolled his ankle. He'll be out for probably a couple games, but he's officially going to be, I'd say on the safe side, he's going to be missing a couple games as the best case scenario, if we agree on that.
Yeah.
Any takeaways from the slate yesterday?
I thought the Laker comeback was pretty good. Orlando continues to be a fade team down the stretch, laying points at home. I think they're laying almost doubles. I think 8.5. Chicago came back. Chicago's feisty, man. I can't figure them out. But
they're a playing team right now.
Yeah, they're feisty, and this is without Vucevic. I know Giddey's banged up. Ayo, I don't think is still kind of banged up as well.
He's out for the year. Shout out to Kobe though, who ended up having 44 last night.
Yeah, Kobe's great, man. It's a North Carolina guy. He's great. Outside of that, man, Brooklyn's, like I said, Brooklyn's one of those teams that you want to back as a dog. I mean, they continuously play hard. They blew the lead. I mean, they played it exactly how you want to play it if you're a tanking team. Be competitive and lose. So credit to Golden State for coming back. Outside of that, I don't think much else to take away from outside of those 2 or 3 games.
I mean, those are the main 2, I'd say. Rockets had a good win on the road.
Yeah,
against the Pelicans. They haven't won a road game in a while. It's a good win for them. I know I ended up hitting my dog. I had LeBron, 10-plus rebounds, a plus 215. He finished with 12. He actually cashed that before overtime, so that was really not a sweat at all. Celtics won against the Sixers, who are a fake basketball team. But either way, the main surprise for me, besides the Magic losing, which I did like the Bulls in that game, because I don't know how the hell you could lay points with Orlando at this point. I don't know why the Pacers sat everybody. And I thought that was a pretty weird injury development over the course of the afternoon. They almost won the game anyway, because Atlanta's not very good. But Halliburton didn't play. Mathurin didn't play. It seemed to come out of nowhere. Like, Halliburton did not play because of a hip issue. I don't remember him having a hip issue. So I don't really know what that whole injury situation was for Indiana. Maybe they just looked at the Hawks and said, maybe we can beat you anyway, just by missing, a couple of key guys. That was really the only surprise for me, was just Indiana not wanting to use a couple of their main guys for injury reasons. But, I mean, Halliburton's been balling out. At no point did he look injured for the last couple of weeks. So that was kind of the main surprise for me on the schedule.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I had actually took 3.5, even with I saw game time decisions for Halliburton and Mathurin. I didn't watch much of that game. Did Mathurin end up playing?
No, Mathurin also sat. So him and
Yeah.
Halliburton, like I'd say an hour before the game, maybe half an hour. Just news came across on Underdog. Yeah, they're not playing. And I'm like, all right, I don't really know what happened there, but nice job by the Hawks. I mean, Trey at 22 and 16, he played well. Siakam at 35 because somebody didn't shoot the ball. But I was kind of surprised by that whole injury, I'd say, management over the course of that afternoon. But shout out to my Nets, though, led by 20 and lost. I thought they were going to lose as soon as they were up 20, and Curry had 40. So nice job by Curry and the Nets, I guess. But the Bulls, I said before, they are the play-in team right now. Gained a game on the Nets and the Sixers yesterday. So once again, the Bulls were supposed to tank, and the Eastern Conference said, you know what, we're going to let you have this one, and now they're the 10th spot. By the way, to correct something you said before, you said the Suns and the Trailblazers are fighting for a spot. It's actually the 11th spot. Right now, neither team's in the play-in.
No, I know. I'm saying they're fighting for the spot that Dallas has, because Dallas is probably going to be falling back. So
probably, but I don't trust Phoenix or Portland at this point.
I think Phoenix can catch them.
Phoenix probably can. It was a nice comeback against the Clippers, but we'll see if they can keep it together. But yeah, technically both teams are in the 11th, 12th spot right now. And we'll see what happens moving forward. Anything else you want to talk about? Because I was trying to think if there's any news that was worth talking about in the NBA.
Not unless you want to talk about Stephen A. and LeBron about the fist fight.
I don't know if it was a fight, because I would take LeBron minus 5,000 in that fight. But yeah, they had some type of, I'll use the word discussion courtside. I don't really have much to add there. I'm assuming that it might have
I was just joking.
It might have had something to do maybe with Stephen A. pleading for LeBron to end the experiment involving his son. That might have, as a father, trying to end this, I'd say, charade. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was really that big of a deal. I do want to ask you, though, we're going to mention the Knicks in a second anyway, because they're playing the Clippers later today. But on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the concern level for the Knicks? Because not only did Brunson get hurt because he played a bunch of minutes, he got injured again. This team just can't beat really good teams, and they've had great opportunities. They led for the majority of that Lakers game, fell apart. Nice and one by Brunson to send the game to overtime before not getting a shot off on the final possession, which is probably not a good sign, by Josh Hart. What's the concern level for the Knicks? Because I have them in my pretenders actual tier with the Nuggets. I just don't view them being a serious title contender. Are you on the same page, or do you hold that a bit more hope?
No, I'm pretty much with you. It depends on the extremity of the ankle injury. I mean, Jalen Brunson is the one. There's a guy on every team who just can't get hurt, and Jalen Brunson is that guy for the Knicks team. I mean,
let's assume for the sake of convenience for the Knicks that they dodged a bullet. Let's say Brunson misses a couple games, he'll be fine in the playoffs, etc. What is your stance on the Knicks? Because I view them as a second-round elimination team. I don't think they're good enough to beat Cleveland. I don't think they're good enough to beat Boston.
No. Yeah, they're not good enough to beat either of those teams. And I would say if
they could lose to Detroit, potentially.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They could lose to Detroit here. And if they fall back even further, they can get the Pacers first round, right? They can get beat by the Pacers as well.
I think the Pacers right now are in a fun collision course with Milwaukee, which would be a fun series again, because those teams hate each other. But the Knicks, I'll put it this way. Since I watched a decent amount of that second half, I did miss the first half, though. I'm watching the game, and my main thought is Mikal Bridges playing, and he played 43 minutes. He had 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I don't think he took a shot the entire fourth quarter in overtime. 5 first-round picks and a pick swap. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate the business that the Knicks, are operating with. Damn, he is not what the Knicks were hoping for. But either way, wanted to mention that because Cat was brutal last night. I think he was 3 of 14. It was a mess. Bridges was invisible. OG had a layup at the end, but besides that, he didn't do much either. And Josh Hart, for some reason, was the one who took the final shot at the end of regulation after the clock expired. So, I don't really know what the Knicks are doing late in games, and I feel like the Knicks are a pretender entirely, but they're good. They're not great. And I think these Cleveland and Boston teams in the Eastern Conference are great. That's where I'm at. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. Anything else you want to add? Maybe a rant on a team that you're not happy about?
No, man. Like I said, I haven't been watching a ton of NBA. Just I guess full games. You can watch the condensed versions on YouTube TV and YouTube and stuff like that. So,
a lot of people made the argument in today's NBA with the actual I'd say variance of threes that if you want to pay attention to good basketball, watch the last quarter. Like some people make the argument of you can kind of skip the first half. I would have watched the whole game. I was just busy, so I couldn't actually catch the first whatever. But I caught the crunch time, and damn, Bridges was a ghost the entire crunch time of that game.
Yeah, I caught the first half, so I caught the first half of that Laker game.
Knicks looked good in that game early on.
Yeah. Knicks were good in that second quarter. Lakers were really good in that first quarter. Luka was amazing in the first quarter. But,
and then Luka
that's about overtime. Yeah, I think you just got to pick your spots in the NBA, man. I mean, I know I like it like this where it's competitive down the stretch. Where I mean, basically the only two things that are locked up is just OKC and Cleveland at the 1 seed. Everything else is teams jockeying for position. Whereas we'll have competitive games down the stretch where every game tends to matter, which is it'll make Adam Silver happy, of course, because it's more competitive. It's going down the stretch. So you got the rest of the league playing in competitive nature, and outside of two things being decided, I mean, that's all you can hope for in a league of parity. That's what people love.
You can say that it's two things that are locked up. It's arguably 2.5 because Detroit, I think, is like 4 games ahead of Miami or something for like the 6th spot. Yeah. Detroit will probably be the 6 because there are a bunch of games ahead of Miami and there are a bunch of games behind Indiana. So they should be the 6. So that's basically 2.5 things locked up. But yeah, should be fun. A lot of interesting playoff matchups, especially in the Western Conference, where you might see a lot of, I'd say, seeding shifts over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, either way, point is should be a pretty fun final month or 2 of the season. But Lonte's not going to watch because college basketball is going on.
Yeah, I mean, I just do a lot more, advanced box score scouting and like condensed stuff. I mean, because
it is like the perfect college basketball time. Like people talk about the actual March Madness of the tournament. They forget how crazy the conference tournaments are.
Yeah, I would argue that this is like much more. I mean, to me, but I'm like hardcore. Like I'm probably gonna be watching, High Point play.
I mean, High Point's expected to kill that team today.
Yeah, I forgot who it is, but yeah,
I'm Gardner-Webb.
Gardner-Webb, that's what it is. Yeah. So
see, I pay attention. I know college.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But
High Point
yeah,
team's
man.
Good though.
They are really good. Really good.
They better win that conference. But anyway, before we get into the actual preview of the slate on Friday, I want to remind you once again that we do have a great promo going on because if you want to gear up for March, do it with Merch Madness. Promo code Madness, 20% off on the SGPN merch store. A reminder, if you get in now before the promo code ends, and a reminder, if you do want to get yourself some NBA Gambling Podcast merch with sweatshirts, t-shirts, etc., don't forget to use code Madness at checkout for 20% off your purchase. Plus, a reminder, we're brought to you by EdgeBoost. EdgeBoost partner up with SGPN, Premier debit card for bettors. The card allows you the ability to avoid being hassled at the sportsbooks, DFS, sweepstakes, racetrack, casino by having your card denied. That will not happen with the EdgeBoost card. Earn a bunch of cash rewards, also $70 per month of cash rewards by using the EdgeBoost card. Your money's also safe. The card's FTT insured, and best part, no credit checks, and it's completely free. Sign up though for your card and use the promo code SGPN so you get better cash rewards into your status. A reminder, you could also use the card for a bunch of different purposes, but it's also definitely solid for gambling. And a reminder, if you want to go actually take advantage of the promo, go to EdgeBoost.bet, promo code SGPN, EdgeBoost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie. MyBookie is the place to bet in every sport. They have props in every game. They also accept customers on a ton of locations. Easy deposit and get lightning fast pads crypto. And you can also head to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN, 400% odds match up to 1K in bonus cash, and a $10 casino chip. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast. Finished talking about the slate on Thursday and some brief love for college basketball. Time to get into the card for Friday. So, spoiler, not many great matchups, but still should be a lot of bets that are once again going to possess some value, and we're going to try to find them. Starting off with the first game on the card. Damn, you have a big favorite. You have the Cavs laying 15.5. However, it was 17.5 overnight. So don't look now, but sharp money coming in on the Hornets for some reason. For the actual injury report, Cleveland has nobody on the injury report, so that's definitely not a good sign for Charlotte. As for the Hornets, you're assuming with the line movement that you're looking at a pretty healthy team. I'd say yes for the most part. LaMelo is expected to play. You have Smith, Green, and Nurkic is probable. You have Mark Williams, who's out for this game. But basically at full strength for Charlotte. Now, Charlotte has quietly actually been competitive against this team so far this season. They've not won any of the games, but they have lost all 3 games by less than 15 points, and Cleveland's laying 15.5. However, said before, Cleveland's fully healthy for this matchup. I'm going to ask you, Lonte, do you want to take the points with a bad team that's basically tanking against Cleveland, or Do you think Cleveland names the score and they win this game by about 30?
Yeah, so I think Cleveland pretty much can name the score. So I was looking at some stuff with Cleveland, and they're not getting complacent, which is what I like to see. And you want to see a motivated favorite. I think they talked about if Atkinson was going to rest guys or if he was going to give guys, games off, and they also were like adamant in saying that they weren't. Like, this is a step towards their goal. They want guys to get that chemistry. They're working DeAndre Hunter into the lineup. They got Ty Jerome's playing extremely well.
Hunter's been so good with that team.
Yeah, he has. He fits in like a glove. So I think it's safe to lay it here with Cleveland. I mean, they got one loss since January 29th, and that was to Boston. Can you say that
again? How many losses did they have again since?
One loss since January 29th, and that was to Boston.
That's a long time. They've won, what, 12 in a row?
Yeah, 12 in a row. Yeah. So they have been struggling early on in games. They had to come back in 3 of their last 4. And they actually trailed Miami. They trailed Miami pretty much that entire game.
And Miami sat everybody in that game.
Yeah, they did. And so Bam was the only guy that was really out there. I mean, no hero. Well, Rozier, if you want to count him.
I mean, you can make an argument Rozier is benefiting the other team. So you can make that argument too.
Yeah, he might be gambling on the other team.
That's what I'm saying. So
but Charlotte, man, 8 losses in a row. They've been beaten by a total of 189 points. That's an average of about 25. 7 of those about 13 plus. They got me last time I was on the show with the team total under. I'm going to go right back to it. They've scored under 105 in 4 of their last 5 games. In their last 31 games, they've scored over 105 in just 12 of those, 100 or less in 10 of those 31. And I think if you want to look at it, Cleveland's defense hasn't been as sharp. I don't know if that's because they're moving away from the 2 big lineup. If you notice, like down the stretch, Jared Allen is not playing a ton. They're just moving Mobley to the 5. And I think that's something if you want to monitor. So if you want to look at Jared Allen, like props under.
The thing is, everything they try works. So I can't even have any takeaways. They just keep winning.
Right. So, I think it's safe to lay it here. I wanted to look under, but I mean, Charlotte, I don't think they can score at all. So I would take Cleveland here. Look at that team total over as well. I think they're hitting on all cylinders, and they'll be able to name their score here.
Yeah, my only question for you is that do you look ahead games exist when you're 42 games over 500?
Absolutely not.
Because they play Milwaukee next game on the road. You could argue that is one of the bigger games on their schedule. But to be honest, there are no big games on their schedule because they're basically clinching the 1 seed automatically. And the question is, will they be able to beat out Oklahoma City for 1 seed in the entire playoffs? But the only argument I'd have for Charlotte is Cleveland looks ahead to Milwaukee. That's it. But they were down, I think it was like 20 or 15 to Chicago in the first half of a game a couple of days ago, and they still won by 20. Like, they were just they smacked them anyway in that second half. But Cleveland has also been kind of, I'd say, strategically sitting guys. They sat Mitchell against Portland. They sat Mobley against, I'm trying to remember who they sat him against Miami, and they won that game anyway. They've been sitting some guys, I'd say, on occasion, but they're still winning. So I feel like Cleveland should win. Charlotte's thrilled right now with how their season went. They're going to be in line for a top 3 odds, or tied for the top percentage to get Cooper Flag. The team sucks. I see Cleveland dominating. The arguments to look at spot, I don't believe in it. I think Cleveland smacks them. I think Cleveland could get into the 130s by themselves. For the total, do you want the over or the under?
Man, I would go under, just thinking that Cleveland does a lot of the scoring and they hold Charlotte to maybe under like 105 here. I mean,
105 might be enough to get the job over, honestly, if Cleveland goes for 130.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess more so Cleveland team total over. I mean, 23 of the 32 home games for Charlotte have went under. Yeah. So that's something there. I mean, they could, they might struggle to get to 90 maybe, but again, I thought they did struggle in their last home game. I forgot who they played. They played Minnesota, and Minnesota was locking them up. I think they had like 20 points, 25 points in the middle of the second quarter, and then they got to 110. Yeah, but Minnesota let go of the rope late when they were up, so some garbage points. But
that could happen in this game too.
Yeah, it could. But I'm hoping that they have like 75, 78 going into the fourth quarter. So yeah, I would go under if anything.
Yeah, to look at Charlotte the last couple games offensively, they have scored less than 102 points in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their last 7. And the one exception was the Minnesota game where Minnesota stopped trying. So this team actually can't score, but I do think the Cavs can push 130 in this game. So yeah, probably a team total over for Cleveland and a team total under there for Charlotte. Code word, I think that this is going to be a rout. Moving on to the next game on the actual slate. Going to look at the matchup between, where do I want to go next for this one? We'll go with the Grizzlies against the Mavericks. Now, the Grizzlies are laying 10.5. The over-under's at 239.5. We know Dallas has no active players worth a damn. Dinwiddie starting again. You have Exum, who's a game-time decision. Clay is still there. You have Najee Marshall, and you have Dwight Powell. The injury list, you have Anthony Davis, who's out probably for the season. Gafford is out. Hardy's out. Kai Jones is out. I didn't even know he was on the team. Lively's still out. Prosper's out. PJ Washington is out. And, of course, Kyrie's out for the season. And Luka Doncic now plays for the Lakers. So, to ask you, Grizzlies have been reeling recently. They got killed by Oklahoma City in their last game on television. But the Mavericks are really, really bad, and they're probably about to fall apart. So, I'll ask you, do you want to lay 10.5?
Yeah, I'll lay it with Memphis. They got to be motivated after losing 4 straight. But again, I think I said this on the show on Tuesday, I think, with Terrell. I think Memphis, I'm not saying that they're doing it on purpose, but I don't think they mind losing to get out of that 2 spot where they will potentially have to face, somebody maybe like Phoenix or Minnesota. I think they would rather take their chances in the first round with Houston. Maybe even.
So what seed do you think they want? You think they want the 3 or the
4?
4?
I think they want the 4.
So you think they want to play OKC in the second round?
I would rather get out of that first round with Houston. I think they got a higher percentage chance of beating Houston than they would of beating Phoenix or Minnesota, just matchup wise.
They've had a couple really good games against Houston this season, though.
Yeah, but Houston they played really, really close games. But I think you would want to get OKC early. Right after that, anything can happen in that month. They don't match up well with OKC regardless, and you're gonna have to beat them some point or another. And if you get the 3 seed, you get the Clippers, and then you potentially get the Lakers. So I don't know if you want to, or it just kind of I don't think you want to do that either. So you rather just go ahead and get OKC out of the way. Maybe they have a hiccup here and there. But I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose. But I think four is the perfect position for them. Ja's not healthy. He said he shouldn't have played against OKC. Taylor Jenkins was saying he got to fight through it. So, I don't know what's going on. I follow Memphis a lot closer than a couple of these other teams. But, Jaren Jackson being out, that hurts. He's got about 6 games left to be eligible for, defensive first or second team, and then also all NBA. And that's like –
yeah, Mobley might win Defensive Player of the Year by default.
Yeah, seriously. It's a lot going on. I'm hoping Jaren can come back because obviously he's been playing extremely well this year and deserving of that first or second. Second or third team, whatever. I don't know if he's going to get first, but second or third team on offense and probably first on defense. But they've lost 4 straight, 7 of the last 9. Dallas, 132.
I feel bad for the fans. That's all I can really say.
132, 127, 137 is what they've allowed. So I like Memphis here. I think Memphis comes out, gets I wouldn't say big win because it's against a Mavericks team that's reeling, but I think they get a much more aligned win. Both of these earlier meetings went under the closing total, which was 232 and 244.5. So I would go under here as well. I know we're gonna hit on the total in a minute, but I would go under here as well. Thinking Memphis does a bulk of the scoring. I don't know how Dallas scores. I really do not know how Dallas scores. So give me Memphis, and I'll take the under.
I like the under as my favorite play here because I can't really trust Memphis to lay this number, even though they have a much better roster. I'm just watching Ja against OKC. He was miserable in that game. I thought he sucked for the majority of it. He kept trying to just lower his shoulder, trying to get contact. And OKC just said, thanks. We have 3 guys with their hands up in the paint. You can't shoot a jump shot. That's the main issue that Ja runs into. Besides the fact that he's injured all the time, his 3-point numbers are abysmal. He's gotten worse from the 3-point line, I believe, every year of his career. And this year, he's in the 20s. He can't shoot.
Yeah, I think that shoulder is wild.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's going to have some surgery or something.
If you want to load up the box, basically, and just dare Ja to shoot from the outside, be my guest. And I think Ja took 9 threes against OKC. That's the problem I run into with this team. And Jaren Jackson's been very good for them. He's not going to play in this game. I don't know if I trust Memphis a lot, laying this number. I think that Memphis has problems in the first round, so maybe you're right. Maybe they are going to be looking for an easier first-round matchup. They might lose if they end up getting the 3 spot or the 2 spot. They might get upset in the first round. It wouldn't shock me. But this team's not heading in the right direction right now. I think they're playing bad basketball. Dallas, though, is in shambles right now. And Nico's probably getting fired during the offseason. So I'll go with the under for this one. I think that the Grizzlies, once again, should cover, but I don't trust them enough to actually put my money on it right now based on how they've played. And Jaren's been really good for this team. So I'll go with the under instead, daring Dallas to find a way to score. And I feel like that's going to help send the game under. Should be a high-scoring game, but I think 239.5 with no Kyrie, no Anthony Davis. I don't know what you have. You're hoping that Dinwiddie basically gives you like 20 and 8. Like you're asking for a lot from those guys. I'll go with the under for that one. That's basically it. Moving on to the next game on the card. Damn, it does not get better. You have the Jazz against the Raptors. Raptors are laying 5.5. The over-unders at 229.5. For the actual spread here, once again, Toronto's favored, which you might not be used to, but it makes sense. Now, for Utah, they are benching a couple of key guys. You have Markkanen who's out, Collins is out, Clarkson's out, and besides that, everyone else should be playing, but Keontae George is questionable. For the Raptors, you have no Pirtle, you have no Brandon Ingram, who forgot is actually on the team. You have Grady Dick who's out, you have RJ Barrett who's out, and you have Agbaji who's out. But you've seen Toronto look decent. They beat Orlando in back-to-back games on the road. Orlando's been bad, but still good back-to-back win set there by Toronto. 5.5. I feel like I want to lay it because Utah is benching a lot of their key guys, but I'll ask you because Toronto in Canada tends to be a lot better than Toronto in the US. So I'll go Raptors, but I don't really feel great about it. You?
Yeah, my first look was over. If you look at what the Jazz have been doing, they've allowed 125 plus in the last 3 games. Now, Toronto likes to get out and run on a fast break. They're missing a couple of guys as well, which has caused Jacoby Walter to kind of come in. And I was really high on Jacoby Walter coming into the draft. And he's kind of battled some injuries here and there. And then you got the trade that's been going on. You got Quickly coming back. Like, it's been so much, like, turbulence in that locker room as far as just guys in and out. So I think he's finally getting his chance to shine with Grady and Agbaji being out. So he's getting his chance to shine. Utah has lost 10 straight on the road. They're bottom 3 in 2-point percentage defense, which could be an issue with Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett getting downhill. So I'm reluctant to take the points here. I mean, Utah's covered 7 of 10. They're 16 and 14 ATS on the road. And this is without their guys, as you mentioned, no Laurie, no Kessler, no Collins, no Clarkson, no George. Like, so they're used to playing with these
George
guys.
Is technically a maybe, but their main guys are, of course, in my opinion, for winning, Markkanen and Kessler. I think Kessler's really good.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. And I think, the younger guys have been playing well. I mean, Johnny Juzang's been playing well. Kyle Filipowski's been playing extremely well. I think he's got like 3 double-doubles in his last 4. He can get 23 and 14 the other night. He could have a big night here again today with the interior defense of Toronto being just a little bit below average, 21st in 2-point percentage defense. But if you look at the total, I think the total's kind of low. Toronto's able to run. I think Utah will be able to score, get up and down. They're over in 8 of their last 11 as well. So my first look would be the over. I'll probably take the points with Utah. I think they've been feisty.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. I see a comment, though, from Tyson about the Raptors, about how they need number 1 option. Can I just point out how much money the Raptors are giving guys that are not number 1 options at this point?
God.
Because they're paying Scotty Barnes $38+ million for about the next 4 years. Barnes' contract is 38.6, 41.7, 44.8, and 47.9. That's up to the 2028-2029 season. They also paid Quickly, who's making $32+ million until 28-29 as well. They just got Ingram. Ingram's making $38+ million for the next 2 seasons, and he has a player option for $41 million in 27-28. And you also have RJ Barrett, who's making $27+ million for the next 2 seasons. How do they have no number 1 option? With all of those big contracts, how do you have 0 number 1 options on your entire team? I don't know what the hell Masai's doing.
Yeah,
their contract situation is an absolute joke. And if you want to look at the numbers, like the full contract, not just by year, but by like the actual total amount, Masai's run this team into the ground. Toronto's going to be stuck in purgatory for the next 4 years. I don't know what the hell they're doing. So that's kind of my thoughts there. I agree they have no number 1 option, but they are spending a bunch of money. I believe that's US dollars. I do not believe that's Canadian dollars, but damn, that's a lot of money for non-number 1 options. It is crazy. But anyway, point is, Robert's saying he's not going to get fired because of the title. Yes, the Kawhi trade fell into his lap and saved his entire basketball executive career. Masai's been awful for years. He let Van Vliet walk for nothing. He waited too long to trade Anunoby. Like, I don't really know what he's been doing in general. They traded a first-round pick for Pirtle, and they're supposed to be tanking. There are a lot of examples of Masai being bad over the last couple of years, but it's been a mess, and Toronto's in shambles. But for the sake of this game, I'll take Toronto. I think Utah's bad on the road, as you said before. No Kessler, no Laurie, and maybe George doesn't play. I like Collier. I think Collier's a good player. He can't shoot, but he's a solid assist guy. But I'll go with Toronto at home in this one, laying the points. I agree, though, about the under. Moving on to the next game, you have the Timberwolves against the Heat. Pretty weird game. For this one, Minnesota's pretty much healthy, with the exception of Gobert, who's a game-time decision, but he's not played for a couple of weeks. As for the Heat, we don't know who's playing, because the Heat have been kind of sitting some guys lately. They were very shorthanded against Cleveland. Good effort, but they lost anyway. For the injury report, Hero's questionable. Wiggins is questionable. You have Burks is questionable. Hawkins is questionable. Jovic is out indefinitely, and Ware is also out. So for this game, Minnesota laying 5.5 on the road. The over-under is at 215.5. Ugly game on paper. I think I'll go Minnesota in the under, but I'll ask you because I'm probably not betting this game.
My initial thought was Miami, but I got to see if those guys are going to be in. I don't know if they can win it with this level of intensity that Minnesota's going to be playing with defensively. But I will point out something that he's averaging 30 this month, but he does not perform well against Spoelstra in that defense. I mean, he's averaging 23.2 in 9 career games versus Miami. In their first meeting, which was back in November, I know it's a while ago, but he scored only 22. Minnesota 6-4 ATS last 10. Miami, I've been betting on them at home since they've been. They're like the Knicks. I think they play 75-80% of their next few games, their remaining games at home. They've covered 4 straight at home, 5 overall, and this is without being fully healthy and having those guys integrated. I mean, they're 16th in 3-point percentage defense, and Minnesota is 5th, so they want to control the 3-point variance of that team. But man, I think Minnesota. I mean, I think Miami is the side here. If we can get at least Wiggins and Ware in the lineup, if we can get both of those guys in, I think the number will fall a little bit shorter than this. So I like Miami. I also like the over. I think the number is way too small. I mean, Miami has been playing extremely well pace-wise since Jimmy's been gone. I mean, 18 of the 27 games at home have went over. They're both over in 6 of the last 10. And Minnesota's an over team with the amount of threes that they take. They're 18 and 15 over on the road. So I think Miami is the side here. If we can get at least one of those guys in, if we can get if we can get Khalil Ware or Andrew Wiggins, I would prefer both, but I'll take one or the other. So I'll take the points. I'll take the over.
Yeah, I see Aaron asking if the Timberwolves are coming around. Truth is, I don't really know. They're kind of still in the middle. They've won 3 in a row, but they beat Charlotte, Philly, and Phoenix, which doesn't mean anything to me. They lost to Utah. They lost to the Lakers, okay. Beat the Thunder in that crazy 25-point comeback, and again, they probably should have lost. Lost to the Thunder the game before that. Lost to the Rockets. Beat the Thunder before that. So against OKC, they're actually pretty good. They lost to Milwaukee. They lost to Cleveland. I feel like they're still where they have been all year. The problem is, or I should say the actual, balance of the schedule. They faced off against 3 bad teams in a row, won all 3, and other against the 4th bad team in Miami. So I think Minnesota's playing better, but I wonder how much of it is actual progress and how much of it is just having a soft patch in the schedule. I think it's more B, but they randomly match up well against OKC for whatever reason. So that could be an interesting playoff series potentially if that ends up happening. But I think Minnesota should finish out of the 8th spot, so they probably should not be the first round match. But I think it'll be interesting if that is the matchup. But I'll fade Miami. Even when they're up 3 points, or I should say up after 3 quarters, they are so bad in the 4th quarter of games. Miami can't close at all. Rozier's been brutal. Wiggins might not play. Hero, you know what he's going to do? He's going to be taking a bunch of isolation dribbles and chucking up a fadeaway jumper. That's what he's doing in crunch time. And Bam has regressed dramatically so far this season. So I can't trust Miami to close games. So that being the case, I'm going to go with Minnesota because at least I think they have a closer on their team in Ant. Yes, his overall clutched numbers are not that great, but they have a hierarchy. They have guys who know that they're going to get the ball in their hands late in games, him and Randall. And Randall's been okay since he came back from injury. Miami doesn't know what they're doing. So I'll go with Minnesota to cover. I don't feel great about this game anyway. I don't really like either team in terms of betting on them. But Miami's in a separate tier, and not in a good way. I think Miami is a complete lost cause, and they're only going to make the play-in because the Eastern Conference is a joke. But I think Minnesota's the better team. So I'll go with Minnesota to cover. But once again, I am not a fan of either team right now. Minnesota's looked better. We'll see if Gobert plays, but I think that Minnesota is once again not good, but better than Miami, and that's all that matters for the sake of this matchup. Anything else you want to add?
No, I forgot to mention Hero. I was just assuming that he's going to be playing.
He might not play. So once again, there's another wrinkle.
Yeah, I was reading that he's probably going to lean towards playing, but I mean, again, this was last night. A lot of things can change between last night and right now, and especially from right now to game time. But yeah,
I'm assuming Hero's going to play because the entire strategy is we're not going to be Cleveland anyway. So why are we using our main guys that are injured?
Right.
That was my logic of what happened, and they still almost won the game. But
yeah, they did. They should have won that game. Duncan, did you watch the game?
Yeah, they fell apart in the fourth quarter again.
Yeah. Duncan Robinson hit the three, and he had his foot on the line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, they were also just scrambling with Kevin Love playing, trying to find any scoring at all down the stretch.
Yeah.
So
Bam was great in that game too.
That's more excusable, but it looked like they went into the game saying Cleveland's going to beat us anyway. So why are we using Hero and Wiggins? We'll rest them and try to beat Minnesota moving forward. So we'll see. But once again, not exactly the most, I'd say, interesting game from a visual perspective, but could be intriguing down the stretch if the game does get close. Before we get into the rest of the actual slate, I wanted to remind everyone saying they're brought to you by Rhythm because they're having an epic March Madness party that I'll be at. I'm going to ask you if you're going to be there. Are you going to be in Vegas?
I will be there for the what's the date for this? I'm sorry.
Party's on the 19th.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, I'll see. Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, hopefully I can. I'm there for I'm covering the Big West tournament, so I'll be there.
Oh, nice.
I'll be there the 12th through the 15th, so that's like a quick turnaround for me.
Maybe we'll overlap.
Yeah,
I want to see you. I want to see UC San Diego play some basketball.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'll be there front row.
I mean, if they're playing Irvine, I'll be there for the conference title game. I mean, that's a hell of a matchup there.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
For whoever wins that one, you might want to consider picking them to win the first round upset match.
I think they both can get in. If they both make the title game, I think they both can get in. Maybe.
I mean, the bubble's very, very weak, but I have a hard time trusting the committee to actually put in two Big West teams.
Very fair.
I can't even imagine the last time two Big West teams got in.
Very fair.
It's probably been a long time, but those two teams are really good. San Diego's in a separate category, though. Like UC San Diego, once again, not the Toreros. UC San Diego. That team's really, really good at basketball. But anyway, a point is maybe we'll overlap. I definitely do want to go to one of those games. The point is, if you want to go check out the actual party that Rhythm's hosting, go to the Circus. You go to Circa, and they have a party on Wednesday, March 19th at Circa Las Vegas. Stadium swim, free first four watch party, free drinks, plus you get to hang out with the guys at SGPN. Gets better. Rhythm's also giving away $2 March Madness future, and they're also having the party once again, which you don't have to attend, actually. You can still be entered into the random drawing for the future if you cannot attend the party in person. Come by, though, at Rhythm help you with your bracket. They also had some pretty good numbers from last year. With UConn winning, the percentage was 39% higher than the ESPN bracket as a whole, and they also predicted Duquesne to beat BYU. They predicted NC State and Oakland to win in the first round, and they also had 45% of Rhythm brackets having NC State to reach the Sweet 16. So once again, it's a nice resource to use for your bracket. You could also get a free party, plus a chance to win a $200 future bet. Go to sportsgame.com/party for details. Also, by Underdog Fantasy because they have a great Underdog Pick'em. And a reminder, you can use the NBA, NHL, college basketball. You could use tennis as well. Whatever sport you want for your entry. They also are offering a great discount. Luka Doncic, they have a discount for all of his Laker games the rest of the regular season. And for the actual promo for Underdog Fantasy, you can use the promo code NBSGPN to get a special pick and first time deposit offer up to one game bonus cash on fantasy promo code NBASGPN. By the way, so Lonte, where are the games actually being held for the Big West tournament?
They are being held in Henderson at the
Is that the UNLV arena?
No. It's the I got the email right here. I'm sorry, I'm just scrambling. I don't know the exact name of the arena. Hold on. It might be. It's not UNLV though, because they would have said that. It is at the Lee's Family Forum.
I don't know if I know that place.
Yeah, Lee's Family Forum. It will be in Henderson, Nevada, March 12th through the 15th.
Okay. Well, either way, I'll actually be in Vegas from the 12th onward. So, yeah, maybe I'll go to a game.
Oh, yeah. We definitely should overlap. Yeah. Are you staying at Circa?
I'm staying at the D, actually. So I'm right around Circa. So it's like across the street. But I'll be there from the 12th, I want to say to like that Saturday. So I'll be from Tuesday to Saturday.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's great. That's great.
I'll be around. Point is, though, should be a fun tournament. Looking forward to it. Anyway, time to get back to the actual card. So we just finished talking about the Timberwolves game. Time to move on into the next game, which is the Thunder laying 2.5. That's right, 2.5 against the Trailblazers. The over-under's at 230.5. You might be thinking, am I missing a 1 in front of that? Is it supposed to be 12.5? No, because OKC is sitting everybody for this game. You have no Shea. You have no Jalen Williams. That is of course, J-Dub that I'm talking about. No Kaysen. You have no Hartenstein. You have no Dort. So you have a projected starting lineup of Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Chet, who's questionable, we'll see, and the other Jalen Williams. And for Portland, you have a questionable tag on Avdia and a questionable tag on Grant. You have no Robert Williams. You have no Banton. You have no Ayton, of course. Maybe it's snowing in the driveway, so he couldn't make it. Do want to ask you for this game, though. Do you think the Thunder should be laying 2.5 with basically their entire starting lineup not playing?
I really don't know, man. I mean, honestly, I don't want to be that guy because I hate when people do it. But if you took the 16 like last night, that's a hell of a bit.
Yeah.
But
that's one of the worst bets you probably made all year. If you took OKC last night.
No. I'm saying if you took Portland.
Portland's an all-time great bet. OKC, if you laid it last night, it's probably the worst bet you can make all year.
Yeah, so, man, I mean, Portland's 4-2 straight up on the 6-game road trip, so this is their 7th straight road game. I still think OKC can beat them. Like, I still think they can. They've won 15 straight versus Portland. They got the rotational guys. I mean, it's not like these guys haven't played or not accustomed to playing. Like, they play heavy minutes even with those guys in lineup, especially if Chet is out there. So, yeah, I don't have a ton of conviction on it, but I would go OKC. If I had to play it. I'm tempted to wait until Avdia is either ruled in or out. And if he's ruled in, maybe we'll get a smaller price on OKC. And if he's ruled out, I'll probably just stay away if the line moves away from me. But my first thought would be OKC or nothing.
It's so annoying because Portland really should win this game.
Yeah,
if you have any faith in Portland to make it interesting in the play-in, they have to win this game. Like, it's not even a negotiation. It is such a significant advantage compared to all the other teams in the West that to play OKC because they're getting the D squad at this point.
I would say C minus. I would say C minus.
I mean, when you factor in all the guys that's being benched, it's the D squad, if we're being honest. The entire starting lineup's not playing. Yeah. That's basically the D squad.
So it's you said name the starters again? Wiggins, Caruso.
This is all projected, so it's not guaranteed. You have Caruso, you have Joe. Right. You have Wiggins, you have Chet for now, who I think is not going to play, and you have Jalen Williams, not J-Dub, the other one.
Yeah.
That's a D squad.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
C minus with Chet officially not being ruled out yet. D gets demoted to D when Chet gets ruled out.
Just take Wiggins points over.
Yeah, pretty much. Wiggins is probably going to need 30, maybe Joe 3s, but you're going to have to get creative. I'll put it that way. You might end up having a nice bench player, having a good game here. I'll go Portland. I'm not going to bet this game. I think Avdi is not going to play. If I had to guess, apparently he re-aggravated his quad injury last game, so we'll see how he looks. I actually gave out a YouTube play on Avdia. I took his under 1.5 threes at minus 130. He's been brutal from 3, mainly because of the injury. He's shooting post All-Star break 26% from the 3-point line. Like, he can't shoot. So I think he's probably not going to play, but he's a better slasher, if anything. Simons might have a monster game. We'll see who Caruso guards, but it's a weird game in general. Maybe the defense looks worse. I don't mind the under in this game.
Yeah,
OKC's going to have to invent offense, and Portland defensively has been fine. I love Kamara. Kamara is a phenomenal defensive player. So I'll go with the under in this one, and I'll dare both teams to actually score. But it's not really, once again, a game that I think is that appealing. It's appealing for props if you want to bet on some random guys that nobody's thinking about, and you want to be the most creative to potentially get a nice plus money price. But I'll go Portland for this one. I'll go under. I don't really have that much interest, but it should be fun as the game goes on. Anything else you want to talk about for this game?
Nah, under. I agree with you there. I definitely agree with you there.
All right, moving on to the next game. You have the Suns against the Nuggets. The Nuggets are laying 7.5 for the injury report for this one. You have Denver, maybe without Gordon and Joker. We'll see. Both of them are game time decisions. You're looking at the Suns being basically fully healthy, with the exception of Martin, who's out, and you have Beal, who's a game-time decision as well. Strawther's, by the way, out for the Nuggets for a while, and you have Najee is expected to play. Denver, though, laying 7.5. I even see some 7s in some spots. You saw the Suns pull off a nice comeback win against the Clippers after Durant had an altercation with Budenholzer in the first quarter. Came back and they won. Suns, though, have actually been kind of competitive against this team, at least on occasion. They did win a game at home earlier this year, but they did lose 2 other games there by double digits. So I'll ask you, it probably comes down to if Joker plays or not in Denver. Do you want to pull the trigger early on either team, not knowing if Joker's going to play?
Yeah, I pulled it on Phoenix earlier, like 7.5. I think 7 is fine as well, whether Joker plays or not. You mentioned the competitiveness of these teams. I think Phoenix matches up pretty well with Denver, just because of the way Denver plays. Kevin Durant should have a monster game here with no wing depth at all for Denver. Well, not reliable wing depth, I would say, especially with Aaron Gordon out. They make Denver play a slower pace. All 3 of those games went under. Denver won and covered 2 of the 3. The win for Phoenix came at home. KD missed the game on February 8th, which is the most recent matchup, which was the Denver W. And I think they pretty much controlled that game for a decent amount of it. Phoenix, that is. So critical stretch for Phoenix here. The 2 games ahead in the loss column. Behind Dallas in the loss column. So if Dallas loses like we predicted to Memphis, and then Phoenix wins here, they can pick up a game. Also, they're a game and a half up of Portland, and then Portland we just talked about has the game against the Oklahoma City's G League team. So I think it's critical here that that Phoenix plays well. Denver's 17-12-1 ATS at home. Jamal Murray's been playing well. Phoenix is going to have to hit some threes. Denver's 21st in 3-point percentage defense. Phoenix is 4th. They also need to control the glass. They don't rebound particularly well, and Denver does, specifically Joker on the offensive glass. They got to defend the paint. They're middle of the pack metric-wise, and Denver's top 2, scoring in the paint, 2-point percentage offense. So I'm going to go with Phoenix here. I think Phoenix can win this game outright, man, with or without Joker. So I like Phoenix.
Yeah, I think I actually like the under in this game at 238.5. It's a massive total. I understand Phoenix offensively is a mess, especially in the second half. Denver defensively not been that great either. All 3 games this season have finished below 228. Like, I find this total massive based on head-to-head. And if you want to actually look at 2 of the 3 meetings, 2 of the 3 finished below 211. Like, I think this total is way too high. I feel like this game should finish somewhere in the 220s, 230s. But if Joker doesn't play, this total is going to plummet. And I do think that Denver defensively is not a good team, but recently they've been okay. Gave up 110 to Sacramento, 110 to Boston, in a loss, by the way. 119 to Detroit. Point is, the last 2 games, they've been okay defensively. So I'll go with the under as my favorite play in this one. I have to wait to see if Joker plays or not, but that under does look pretty appealing to me at this number that I think is very, very high. Besides that, I see a question from Robert asking if I think Budenholzer can get fired. I think in most cases, he'd be the scapegoat, like Vogel was. However, I think Budenholzer's actually safe because it seems like a foregone conclusion that Durant is guaranteed to get traded during the offseason. So they were completely acknowledging a rebuild to some degree.
I think they'll move Beal too. I think they'll find somebody to go with Beal.
I disagree. I think Beal's unmovable as far as I'm concerned. With that contract and the no trade clause.
Well, in the NBA, we've learned
the no trade clause makes it very, very tough to trade Beal because Beal has to approve of the destination. They can't ship him to Charlotte, for example. Like, he has to agree to go wherever he wants to. Beal, I don't know if he can actually get traded, but Budenholzer, if Durant was not guaranteed to be traded this offseason, which he is at this point, then they would probably consider moving on. But with Durant probably guaranteed to be being traded, maybe they get rid of a couple other guys. I think he's safe because they're already transitioning to a different, I'd say, stage in the franchise course. So based on Durant being traded, I think Budenholzer's safe.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where I'm at. If Durant was staying, Budenholzer would be gone. But I think we agreed Durant's guaranteed to get traded this offseason. Do we agree 100%. On that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
so do we agree?
Lewis was asking. Lewis was asking about what somebody will give up something. I mean, for KD, a win now, like somebody will give up something. I mean, it's the NBA.
This is where Durant's reputation is going to benefit Phoenix because I agree. Durant's not the guy he used to be, and he's injured a lot. However, there are a lot of teams like Houston and Memphis, like fringe contenders that can easily persuade themselves into taking a shot on Durant.
Yeah, I want Memphis to get him.
Yeah, I think Memphis or Houston will be his destination.
I think Memphis can put together some. Yeah, they can put together something. Yeah.
I think so can Houston. Houston's got picks too.
Yeah, but Houston's got players. Too many players, actually.
4 first-round picks, no. That's what the Nets got. You're not getting that.
No.
I think you can get 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, 2.
Maybe 3 if a team is ultra desperate. But I'd say probably 2.
Well, I think if it's Memphis, I think Memphis will give you 2 for sure. Because you got to think that even the shelf life for KD may be, about to expire, but their core guys will still be there. And
they're going for it now anyway.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have to give it up. So they'll be fine without KD as well, when he's there, if he goes there and lose or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And if Houston gives up Amen Thompson, they are incredibly stupid.
Yeah, Luis, that's not happening. That's one of those trade machines.
Absolutely retarded.
That's one of those fan trades you'll see on Twitter around the trade deadline where somebody's like, who says no to this trade? It's like one team gets LeBron, Luka, and like all these other teams, and the other teams get like scraps. And it's from like some Lakers like serious fan. You know what I mean? Like the ultra biased trade machine.
He's saying he's exaggerating. Yeah, I feel.
No, I know you are. I'm just saying that's a trade made only by a Suns fan.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you can get 2. I mean, Kevin. I mean, he's.
I think Asian, 2 is the floor personally, because there is some type of bit going on. The question is, can you get 3? Yeah. I would say 2 and a decent player, a non-all-star player. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, you can
2 and a 3 and D guy. That's kind of where I'm at for Durant's actual worth. Do you think Durant would go from Memphis for like 2 first-round picks and Aldama? That's kind of where I'm at.
I think 2 Aldama and probably
G.G. Jackson.
Yeah, Jalen Wells or G.G. Jackson. One of those 2.
I don't know if Wells will be. They might want to keep. They might want to hold on to Wells, but
I think they would rather.
My point.
If they had to, I think they would rather hold on to G.G. than Wells if they had to pick one.
I see people mentioning the Thunder. I question, one, how that's going to work after he went to Golden State. The fan base might just revolt if he ends up going there. Maybe they're over it. Who knows? Yeah, 2 is, with the current core you have with Chet and with Hartenstein and with J-Dub, I don't think they'd be willing to kind of like rock the boat by getting Durant. I would take Durant over J-Dub in a second, even though J-Dub's younger, and I understand that he's got more upside. Maybe I'm just lower on J-Dub in a playoff series than most people, but I don't know what OKC would actually give up. Like, what would you do? You just give a bunch of picks and tell them figure it out?
I mean, they got the picks to do that. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, I'm not ruling out anything with that front office and how brilliant they are.
See, I am kind of going to rule it out though, because I feel like Presti's in the same boat as Ainge in Boston, where they have all these picks and they never actually do anything with them.
Yeah, I mean, if you read deep enough in the NBA sphere. Yeah. You got the Cooper Flag conspiracy going there.
Yeah, good luck with that. Like, whichever team gets the number 1 pick, they are not trading Flag. That is just instant jersey sales and merch. Like, no, they're going to keep Flag.
I mean, if you read, okay, see, they got a shot realistically.
I mean, you can make the argument they do, but I don't see that happening. But my Durant prediction is Houston personally, but you're going to go Memphis. But anyway,
I want him to go to Memphis.
Give me the under.
Yeah, I want him to go to Memphis.
You like the over or the under in this game?
I don't forget what game we're talking about.
This is the Nuggets game and the Suns, because Durant's not going to be there for that much longer.
I like under.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. Moving on to the next game with 2 games left. You have the Spurs against the Kings in the De'Aaron Fox revenge game. And you have DeRozan, I guess, who technically played for both teams. Kings are laying 6.5. The over-under's at 233.5. For the injury report, Wemby's still out, so that's all that matters. For the Kings, you have no Sabonis and no Monk. So you have Keon Ellis and LaVine and DeRozan. Damn, DeRozan and LaVine are going to ball hog the entire game. I do want to ask you, for this matchup, do you want to lay 6.5 with the Kings?
I don't. I wanted to lay 5 early on with Sacramento. Sacramento is 1.5 games out of being out of the play-in, so this is a big one here. And I don't know if you saw it, but since this game has been like leading up, you've been seeing a lot more of the like De'Aaron Fox, why De'Aaron Fox wanted to leave, and et cetera, et cetera. And so
I
that's
get why
always
Fox wanted to leave. The Kings are just a clown organization.
Yeah, he was saying about the coaching, like he was tired of the coaching turnover, and the Mike Brown stuff was kind of overstated. I guess they were saying that he was wanted Coach.
They blamed him for it.
Yeah, they did. But he's saying it was not that. It was just they were tired of the coaching turnover and so much stuff that was going on. But
shout out to Christie though. I think he's actually done a decent job.
Yeah, he has. But yeah, I would go Sacramento or nothing here. I mean, 6.5 is pretty much out of my price range. I wanted to lay below 6. Sacramento, they've covered 5 straight though, and 6 of the last 10. They do struggle defending the 3, so the Spurs are going to have to make some threes if they want to stay within a number. I think Spurs are kind of mailing it in as well. De'Aaron Fox also said that he's going to have surgery on his left index finger, I want to say.
He's had issues with his fingers for years. He had the playoff series against the Warriors where he was playing through.
Right. I think it's the same finger.
Yeah,
I think it's the same finger. Yeah. So he was talking about how he's going to have to have surgery. So I would look out for them to kind of rule him out, to kind of get a head start on that surgery. They failed to cover in 7 of the last 10. I mean, obviously the interior defense is taking a hit. So Levine and DeRozan should like feast in the paint. So if you 25 plus for each of those guys, I would play that. It would be Sacramento or nothing for me. Over would be another call I would like, because both teams should be able to get to the rim. Malik Monk being out kind of does deter me away from some of the other players being inserted. I know Keon has been okay. Keegan's been fine as well. Valanciunas also has been really good filling in for Sabonis. I also like him with Sabonis, because Sabonis can kind of play his natural position, something he hasn't done probably since his rookie year.
I mean, the problem is your spacing is going to be screwed if you use both of them at the same time.
Yeah, but I think that lineup is more effective than anything, because Sabonis at the 5. I mean, we saw it. It's not really worked out. I mean, he's been good, but I would rather have JV there beside him. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But Sacramento or nothing for me.
I mean, the thing about the Kings though, and why they're so bad against the 3, is that Sabonis is so bad at protecting the paint that they have to try to like pack the paint. And then because of that, they give up so many 3s. So it might be bad 3-point defense by, I'd say, strategy, just based on how bad they are at actually defense on the interior. That's my main point about the Kings, though. I think Sabonis and Valanciunas are probably the worst front court defense duo in the entire league. Like, they can't guard anybody. I love Valanciunas because he's a great rebounder, and he can give you some solid scoring, but he's also really incapable of doing anything off ball. Offensively, he sets screens and he rolls at like maybe 2 miles an hour, and then he kind of backs down to the defender and tries to do some baby hook, but he can't guard anyone. So it's a good spot for the Spurs to potentially capitalize on pick and roll defense. I love Fox in this game in general. I like his points for this one. He can get downhill, get to the line, have a solid game here. But the main interest that I have in this game, which is pure just amusement for me, is the rebounding battle between Valanciunas and Bismack Biyombo. That's my intrigue for this matchup. I also want to see how many shots Levine and DeRozan combine for in this one.
I would take over 40.5.
I think I'll take the Spurs plus the points, because I don't want to lay 6.5 with the Kings. I don't like either team. Give me Fox to will his team to a cover in this one. Give me Kings 1-10.
Yeah, Adam's got a good nugget. Valanciunas. I might look at his PRA. I didn't know he had that. That's a really good number right there.
Yeah. So we'll see. They gave him the ball a lot in the low post. Then again, Joker defensively, I don't think is very good. So that was definitely a good matchup for him, and he capitalized on it. So we'll see what happens, but I think it'll be a fun game. I think I like the over. But once again, I just want to see Biyombo and Valanciunas kill each other for rebounds for about 20 minutes. So that's my thoughts on that one. I'm moving on to the last game. You have the Knicks playing again in Los Angeles against the Clippers. They are shorthanded, as Brunson should be out for a couple of games. You're looking at Cat right now is listed to play along with the rest of the starters. We'll see. But you have Bridges, you have Hart, you have Anunoby, and you have Cat all right now listed to play with McBride at starting point guard. Mitchell Robinson's a game-time decision, or he's probable, I should say. Achua is questionable for this one. For the Clippers, you have no Powell again. Yeah, Cade's going to win most improved by default because nobody else left, because Powell might not qualify for the actual award. You have Harden, you have Dunn, you have Bogdanovich, you have Kawhi, who's supposed to play in this game, and Zubac as your starting lineup. Ben Simmons is out for this game. I'm going to ask you, is there any chance you want to take the Knicks on an overtime back-to-back with no Brunson?
Absolutely not. I love the under though. I love the under. I think the Clippers would be the side. I mean, this was 3.5 posted yesterday before the game was played. So quite an adjustment. I think the adjustment is pretty warranted, but I think we'll see I mean, who's going to handle I mean, the offense for the Knicks is entirely like 85% Jalen Brunson, like pick and roll. And
the most common pivot tonight
everything.
will be Josh Hart triple-double because of the usage, but I don't know if the assists are going to be there. But.
Right, exactly. So, so I would go under. I mean, Clippers, they need to just continue winning. I'm hoping that Kawhi is back. 21-9 ATS at home. New York struggles defending the 3. They're 30th in three-point percentage defense. So if you want to look at maybe some three-point props for Harden or somebody like that, maybe you want to look there. Bogdanovich threes over is a good look, but it would be Clippers or nothing. But I love the under. I mean, Clippers want to play a slower pace game in that building. It's been, I can't say historically because it's just now in there, but just this season has been prone to go under. And I think the Knicks will be able to slow the game down a ton without Brunson. And I don't know how they score a ton here.
And they have to slow it down without Brunson. I know they're going to score. And Cat might not play too, so we'll see what happens. But I'm with you on the under. I'll go with the Clippers as well, but mostly the under for me there. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the actual card. Now it's time for the lock and dog picks. Lonte, I'll let you go first. What are your lock and dog picks for this exciting Friday card?
Exciting is that's the right word.
Is your lock going to be high point minus 14.5?
Well, I laid 12.
You laid 12. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. It's around.
But I'm shit, man. This is tough. I'm going to go with. Damn. I'm going to go with. I don't know.
In that Clippers game?
Maybe Scott, but I'm thinking. Give me OKC. Give me OKC money line. Anything under 140, anything 140 or under, I think it's fine. I mean, I just think a little bit undervalued as long as we get Chet to play here. Obviously, not a strong conviction here with what's going on, but I do think that they get it done. So let's go with OKC. Obviously, you could tell it's not my strongest play.
Okay.
And for the dog, I'm gonna ladder up Klay Thompson threes to like 7. Memphis's defense, their dribble drive defense is horrible. Klay's had 4+ in 7 of his last 9. He's took, I think, 12 in his last game. So for him to make 5+ threes is 150. For him to make 6+ threes is 320, and for him to make 7+ threes is 6-1. So you just take a unit, break it down. You put the more, you put the, like, if you want to put a half a unit on him to make 4, and then you split the other one with 2 and with 3 and 2. That's how I usually do it. So Klay Thompson 3-point ladder, 150 for 4, 3-1 for 5, and then 6-1 for 7.
Okay. So for my lock, I think for this one, I'm going to go with that under in the Clippers game at 220. At about 217.5. I don't remember what the number was that I had. What number did I list for that one? I might have actually just completely forgot to adjust the actual total on the show. I said 227.5. I meant 217.5. Whoops. That's a bit of a difference. So now I might not take that as my lock. Apologies, by the way. Definitely want the under 227.5, but not 217.5. So for the lock on the show, you know what? I'll go with I'll trust my instincts here. Give me the Cavaliers. Minus the 15.5. I think they killed this team.
Yeah, I think, going there.
I think I have to. Charlotte's so bad, man. They're terrible. They lost to Minnesota at home by 15. They lost to the Wizards at home by 13. Really? The Wizards by 13? Cleveland can name the score here. I'll do it. You can argue it's a look-at spot. I don't believe in that when you're 42 games over 500. But Cleveland, I just think, can name the score. You said before, Charlotte can't score, and you're looking at Cleveland just having a ton of weapons. Even the bench with Hunter and Ty Jerome, it's a crazy bench unit. Like, this team is so stacked. Give me Cleveland minus the 15.5. I'll take the better spread because it was 17.5 overnight. Thank you for those 2 free points. Give me Cleveland to win this game by 20. I'll take Cleveland minus the 15.5 as my lock. For my dog, I'll go with a player prop, actually. I'll go with a rebounding play because I won yesterday with LeBron rebounds. Give me Michael Porter Jr. I'll go with the over on his 7.5 rebounds at plus 145. He's had a pretty good rebounding number recently. He's had at least 8 rebounds in 6 of his last 7. Had 12 against Sacramento. Said before, Joker might not play. So you can actually potentially capitalize on a good spot for Porter Jr. to get rebounds if Joker ends up sitting for some reason. But plus 145 for a guy that's had at least 8 rebounds in 6 of the last 7, I think it's a very good deal. I think it's a good number. I'll take that as my dog for the show. Anyway, time for the underdog entry for the actual show. Lonte, are there any actual guys you like? Because I might just recycle the Porter Jr. default rebounds line as the first option for underdog. So for the first choice, I'll go with Porter Jr. higher, 6.5 rebounds at around, well, actually just see what number I can get. Yeah, it's about 6.5 for this one. So what else do you like?
I like KD's points higher.
Okay.
I think it's a great matchup for him. And if you want to do Fox, you like Fox as well? I think
Durant's
Fox,
at 25.5, by the way.
Yeah, oh yeah. 30. Durant's going to have 30 plus 9.
Actually, underdog is 26.5.
That's
so
fine. He's going
to get 34 last game against the Clippers.
Yeah. He's going to have another big night as well.
Okay. And what else? Is there anything else you like?
You want to do Fox points or PRA or PA or however you want to
number. He's only got 9 fingers, but I still think he's got a decent matchup in this one. So Fox for his points are at 22.5. Actually, it might be a little bit. Is it 22.5 or 23.5? It's 23.5 on underdog. You want to go for it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fine.
I mean, we can merge like assists if you want to.
No, that's fine. The points is fine.
All right. So those will be our 3 choices for underdog. Once again, Porter Jr. rebounds higher. We'll go with the KD higher on his points, and we'll also go with the Fox higher on his points as well. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Back once again on Monday. And until next time, Lonte, anything else you want to add?
No, man. Best of luck, everybody, this weekend, man.
Yep, same to all of you as well. A reminder, back once again on Monday, and I'll be doing some tennis stuff over the weekend. We have some MLB shows. We had some division previews breaking down. I know Lonte's also in the MLB Gambling Podcast. We're going to be having a couple of division breakdowns coming up over the next few days. But until next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.